Hi, and welcome to our how-to video series on lenses. This two-part series will take you through a crash course on camera optics, from the very basics to some advanced knowledge. In this episode, we'll start with the basics and cover the differences in focal lengths and prime versus zoom lenses so you can choose the right one for your shot. In episode 2, we'll discuss photo versus cinema lenses and break down the key differences between a $100 photo lens and a $40,000 cinema lens. So, let's start with the basics. What lens do you choose for your shot? The biggest decider here is focal length, and the choice seems pretty obvious. Need a wider shot? Choose a wider lens, right? That's not all there is to it. You can get the same shot by changing your camera position along with the focal length. For instance, this medium shot at 24mm is just about the same as this one on a 50 shot from farther back. Same composition with two entirely different looks to them. So when do you shoot close with a wide lens versus far from a long one? Sometimes it's subjective. Which looks better to you? Other times it's practical. What if you're documenting a lot of action? Then a wider lens will let you get more of that scene in the shot and will mean less movement to cover that action. Okay, now that you know all this, once you know your focal length, do you use a prime or a zoom? Each has its advantages, but primes have the advantage visually. First, primes are typically faster lenses, meaning you can open the aperture wider, let in more light, and end up with a shallower depth of field. If that's what you need for low light shooting, or you're looking for a lot of out of focus area for your shot's aesthetic, a prime lens is the way to go. Primes also have less distortion at the wider focal lengths. Notice how the vertical lines of the room tend to bend more with the zoom than they do with the prime. Slower aperture and more distortion are a few of the compromises lens manufacturers have to make when they build a zoom. The key advantage of a zoom is its flexibility. A lot of times, especially when you're shooting documentary, you may not have the time to constantly switch lenses to cover the action. If you're shooting an event or documentary and you know you need a lot of different coverage and you need it quickly, then a zoom's a great choice. Here's an example of me covering a conversation with a zoom. Here's our wide, and I hold that for a moment. Then I recompose for coverage of person A. Then again for coverage of person B. Now here's the edit. With primes, that would have taken a lot more time to capture. Also, a zoom during a shot is a creative move you may want to employ in your film. I hope this gets you started. Make sure to watch episode 2 where we'll demystify the differences between affordable photo lenses and expensive cinema ones. Thanks for watching.